What if I told you that one of the most hyped manhwas, one that fans called the next Solo Leveling, finally got an anime adaptation and it completely fell apart? We're talking about the series that had world-class storytelling, got tired popularity, and an army of fans waiting for the moment it would hit our screens. And when it finally did, it wasn't just bad, it was painful. This is the story of the beginning after the end, and how one of the most legendary manhwas got one of the most disappointing adaptation in recent anime history. Let's be clear, the beginning after the end is not some random manhwa, this is a giant. At its peak, it was one of the most read manhwas out there. It had everything: stunning art, emotional depth, complex world building, and one of the coolest protagonists in the reincarnation genre, Arthur. A former king reincarnated into a world of magic and monsters, trying to live a peaceful life but constantly being dragged into an epic conflict. Sounds familiar, right? That's because it did what so many isekai stories try to do, but better. People compared it to Solo Leveling for a reason. The tone, the pacing, the power progression, it was addictive. Fans waited years for an anime announcement, and when it finally came, people lost their minds. The hype wasn't just high, it was sky high. Then the anime dropped, and oh boy, from the very first episode it fell off. The pacing rushed, the art inconsistent, the animation flat. This wasn't the adaptation fans had dreamed about. It felt like a motion comic at times. Even Solo Leveling got a full-blown cinematic anime treatment, with fluid animation, killer music and jaw-dropping action sequences. But you gave the beginning after the end a budget that looks like it came from someone's leftover lunch money. Static camera angles, stiff movements, backgrounds that looked like a concept sketches, and fight scenes that lacked any weight. How do you mess up a story this good? And look, we're not expecting MAPPA levels for everything, but this felt like a slideshow. The most painful part is how much of potential was wasted. Arthur's story has weight, his past life trauma, the relationships he builds, the tension of hiding his true power, none of it hits as hard in the anime. Entire arcs are either rushed or stripped of the emotional nuance they had in the manhwa. The pacing is all over the place, important scenes feel underdeveloped, and filler moments get too much time. The anime had the chance to elevate the story with voice acting, music and motion, but it did the opposite. It made it feel smaller. Now, let's talk about the big comparison, Solo Leveling. Another god-tier manhwa that fans were nervous about. But then the anime dropped and it delivered killer animation, high energy, a faithful adaptation. The difference? You can feel the effort in Solo Leveling, the love, the budget, the polish. Meanwhile, the beginning after the end feels like a missed opportunity from the very first episode. These two manhwas were equals in their original form, but the anime adaptation put them in completely different leagues. Now, is all the hope lost? Not necessarily. Sometimes a rough season leads to a better season. The backlash from the fans makes the studios rethink their strategy. And hey, if Tokyo Ghoul can get reboots and Bleach rise from the dead, anything's possible. But it's going to take a studio that cares. One that actually sees the heart in the story and has the talent to bring it to life. If you're a fan of the beginning after the end, don't let this flop define the series. The manhwa is still one of the best out there, and it deserves better. This was supposed to be its big moment. Instead, it became a cautionary tale for studios that underestimate their audience. Let's just hope someone out there gives
Arthur the anime he actually deserves, because until then we'll always have the manhwa and the dreams of what could have been.